Welcome to the Livfiit Listens podcast, a safe space of growth, personal development, and overall wellness with your host, Olivia Catania. Diving into the realms of all things health, conscious living, mental expansion, and much more, this podcast is designed to help you evolve into your best self and live fit. Let's get into the show. Well, what do you know? We're starting this episode at 11:11 completely, I don't like using the word coincidentally, completely synchronistically we'll use. I'm feeling so good today. Vibes are so high today. Welcome back to another episode of the Livfiit Listens podcast. Today we're on episode 95 before I get ahead of myself. Clearly by the title, as you guys can tell, I've been so stoked on just mindsets for 2024. Like I feel like I've been doing so much mindset work and I just have been feeling so passionate about it. And I feel like I've already been seeing quote unquote the results, even though it's not totally what it's about, but I have been seeing the impacts of shifting my mindset in my life already. And I just believe in it so much. And I kind of touched on previous episodes how my mindset really was kind of trash towards the end of 2023. And I just am so I'm just over that, and I'm just so ready to step back into my power and really take control and be more assertive in the sense of my mindset. And I really love always bringing episodes that I'm feeling really passionate about to you guys, obviously, and what's most on my heart right now, because I just feel like I'm able to talk most about things that I'm going through and things that I resonate with. And I always find that if you guys are, avid listeners to this podcast, we are in some sort of alignment, obviously. And so I just trust that me speaking on things that I'm resonating with will find those who also need to hear these things as well. So basically today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys two of my biggest mindset shifts or kind of mindset goals that I have for 2024 that I'm so confident can really shift your life. And like I said, I've already been seeing so many I kind of want to say different manifestations of this mindset. I've already have seen those already in 2024. So my intention really with this podcast episode is to, again, just help us all kind of realign mentally to help us stay more in alignment with the dream life that we're all trying to create and what we're all trying to live, which I know will look completely different for everyone. But before we get into the podcast episode, I want to touch on what I'm grateful for today. I feel like lately because also along with my mindset work, because also I believe in gratitude so much, and I feel like practicing gratitude also directly helps to improve your mindset. So I have been practicing a lot of gratitude lately. And so I just feel thankful for so much. And I know that sounds kind of cliche, but I just feel grateful for so many different things in my life right now. I'm feeling very content. I feel very at peace with where I'm living, how I'm living, the blue skies today, being able to ski, seeing my family. I've spent so much time with family over the past few weeks, which I know is such a privilege and a blessing. So overall, I'm just feeling grateful for my life and just feeling really grateful to be able to experience things and for all that's to come. I find it so inspiring and kind of also motivational when you think about all the endless possibilities and potential that are in each of our lives. So much can change at the drop of our hat. Our lives could look completely different in a month. We really just don't know. And that's what makes life so interesting and so fun. And it's truly we're all living in our own movie and we're just watching it unravel. So I know that was kind of a lot, but I don't know. I just feel thankful to be alive lately, and I'm thankful to kind of be quote unquote in the game. And I'm just thankful for all that's to come, because it's so exciting to think that some of the best moments of my life, some of the best people in my life, I haven't met them yet or I haven't experienced them yet. And so there's just so much good, not only now in the present moment, but there's so much good to come too. And I know that could also seem kind of overwhelming because it's fear of the unknown, but at the same time, it's we could also approach that with curiosity and excitement for what's to come, and it just makes life so much more interesting and fun. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's get into it. So these, like I said, these are my two biggest mindset goals that I have for 2024 that I just know are so revolutionary, and I can promise each and every one of you who are listening right now, if you're watching on YouTube, hello, hope everyone's having a good day, but I can promise you that your life will truly shift if you purely, wholeheartedly, and intentionally, really consistently, what's the word I'm looking for? Not embody. Instill? implement. Thank you, Olivia. Okay. If you fully intentionally implement these mindsets into your life, I know we'll see a shift. Man, that was like so hard. My mind just went blank. Okay. Anyways, here we go. First thing, number one, which I did touch on this in my previous podcast episode of my 2024 ins and outs, but you guys, I'm so passionate about this in case you can't tell that I really wanted to kind of isolate this and consolidate this and put this in a singular podcast epi for you guys to listen to and also look back on whenever you need a reminder in 2024. So the first mindset shift is to not, I didn't really know how to word this one, but it's basically to stop looking for proof in my reality for my new reality that I'm trying to create, or AKA not having my mindset fall victim to my environment or my externals. So I need to kind of walk you guys through this and break this down because I definitely had some questions on this when I posted this on my Instagram story. So your life pretty much, let's bring it back for a second. Your life truly is just an accumulation and a compilation of your actions from the past 3 or 6 months, right? It's not what you did 2 days ago that is why you're living the life you're living right now. No, it's the accumulation of your actions over time, which is essentially then what's causing the quote unquote manifestation of your current reality or bringing your current reality into fruition, right? It's not like we thought of a business idea 2 days ago and then all of a sudden we're a millionaire 2 days later. Sometimes that's the complete anomaly, but most often than not, it's your accumulated actions over time that have compounded, right? The outcomes, the results of those actions have compounded over time to create the life that you're living, right? So it's not something you did yesterday or 2 days ago or even a week ago. That's why I'm living where I am, right? It's accumulation of much larger actions over a much larger span of time. So if your mindset is victim to your environment, right, which to clarify, this is not what I want to do, but I'm just taking you on the contrary right now to explain this. If your mindset is victim to your environment, you are going to keep reliving the past, or basically you're going to keep reliving your current environment over and over and over again because you're just kind of affirming that environment and you're going to be living in a feedback loop. This is because your reactions, your thoughts, and therefore your actions are all congruent with that reality, and therefore you're experiencing it over and over and over again. It's just basically recreating that same reality over and over and over again. And you guys, we all know that same quote. I believe it's from Einstein. Doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. And I think that's what a lot of us do when we're like, okay, I don't like my current reality. I want to change the life that I'm living. But then so many of us are living the same way, or we're thinking the same way, hoping that one day we're going to have a different reality. But honey, you're doing the same thing over and over again. Obviously, you're going to be getting the results you've always had if you're doing the same thing you've always done. But the reason why people don't think different, right, in order to create a different reality is because their thoughts basically keep getting discouraged because they're always looking for their current reality for proof that their thoughts are working, but they're not giving their thoughts enough time to actually compound into enough actions over the long haul to accumulate into an actual different reality. So let me backtrack for a second because I'm getting ahead of myself. Like I'm saying, how you create a certain reality, right? It all starts with a certain mindset that you have. That mindset then obviously produces different thoughts and emotions, and those are then what dictate the course of action, right? They inspire you to take a certain course of action, right? That course of action then produces a certain outcome. And that continuous process, right, is what produces multiple outcomes, which then accumulate into a really big outcome, which is your current reality, which is your new life, right? So let me walk you guys through this feedback loop that happens when you do allow your mindset to fall victim to your current environment when you're trying to create a new one. So let's say you have the intention like, hell yeah, I'm going to create my different reality, a reality that I love. I'm going to have this different self-serving mindset, and I'm really going to try to, basically reprogram my mind to get me into alignment with this new reality that I want to be experiencing. Great. We love that. Okay. So now you have this new mindset, right? It provokes different thoughts and emotions that then inspire you to take a certain aligned, inspired action, right? Which we love that. Okay. But the thing is that all good things take time, right? It's the same thing when you're trying to get from point A to point B in a car. You can't just go 0.1 mile and wonder why you're not in Florida when you left from California. It's the continuous rotation of the wheels over and over and over again that get you from point A to point B. So if you take one action that's aligned with this new great prosperous mindset, you still may be getting an unfavorable outcome that is just simply a result of your past environment because there hasn't been enough time for your actions from your new mindset to accumulate yet into something different. So let's say you have that action from your new inspired mindset, an unfavorable outcome still occurs because there hasn't been enough time for a new outcome to compound yet. So this outcome that comes back is still just a reflection of your current reality of the past choices that you've made to be at this point. Then since you had an unfavorable outcome that's not in alignment with your new mindset yet, then that causes you to get discouraged. Your mindset slouches because of said unfavorable outcome. And then that now slouched mindset dictates your next course of action, and more specifically how that next course of action is done, which now creates the same unfavorable outcome. I feel like the best way to describe it is kind of with social media in a way that I personally experience it. If I'm thinking like, okay, I really want to change my intention of how I'm showing up online, but then I post a video and it still doesn't do well, and then I have my mindset be contingent on that video that didn't perform well instead of me just focusing on my inputs in my mindset and doing doing work to the best that I can. If I get too focused on that outcome, right, that didn't go the way that I wanted it to, then it just in my mind is like, damn, I'm right. I suck at this, right? Then it impacts my mindset, and then my work is then impacted by my slouchy, mindset that wasn't self-serving, right? If I think I'm trash, then what I produce is going to be trash, and that's not going to do well. And it's going to again make me think that I'm trash, going to make me show up feeling like I'm trash on camera, make my videos be trash. And it's just this complete feedback loop, right? So kind of apply that to whatever way resonates with you and your current reality in the life that you're living. But it's just so true. It's like you can never expect a change if you keep living in that same feedback loop. And so that's why I say it's so important for your mindset not to fall victim to your environment or your externals, because you need to trust and understand that your current environment, like if you have a new mindset that you're going to try to shift things in your reality, like that you're not even going to see results today, tomorrow, the next day, all the time. Like sometimes it takes months of compounding for your reality to kind of catch up with your new mindset. So instead of having a different mindset, taking a different course of action and being upset about that outcome that just presented itself to you, you need to affirm and remind yourself and say that outcome wasn't a direct correlation with my current input and mindset, because it is still a program of the past that's coming through. I need to stay consistent for longer for my new reality to be able to compound and come through. Another great quote, if you want different, you need to move different, right? So if you want to reshape your reality, you have a new mindset in place, you're thinking new thoughts, you're thinking new inspired courses of action. And if you're not allowing your mindset, to fall victim to your environment, you're not even paying attention to your outcomes for quite a bit, right? You're just simply focusing on your intentions, doing your best work, having good self-serving thoughts, focusing on your mindset, and you're just fully hammering into your inputs instead of getting focused on your outputs, right? Or your externals or your reality. You have blinders onto those things. Now you can actually be consistent with your new mindset because you're not getting discouraged by your environment all the time or by your externals, which again, I'm trying to remind you all, your current environment and externals are simply just compounds of your decisions you've made in the past. So you can't get discouraged. It's not that your new mindset isn't working. It just hasn't had enough time to accumulate into something. So when you ignore your environment, you ignore the feedback you're getting from your externals, it allows you to still stay motivated. It doesn't take away your encouragement. It doesn't discourage you. So it allows you to actually have time to be consistent with your new mindset, to keep taking consistent new courses of inspired action that are aligned with that new mindset, and then eventually you'll have enough results that will accumulate into your new reality. I really hope this made sense for you guys listening. I hope I didn't lose you guys a while back, but it's truly imperative. If you want a different reality, you cannot keep falling victim to your environment, because you're just going to keep reliving the past. Because again, your current environment right now in this moment is accumulation of past actions. It's not even, you can't do something new today and expect your whole life to be different tomorrow. Like it takes time. And so you can't look at, you can't get discouraged 5 days from now and you're trying to incorporate a new mindset and say, see, this isn't working, because it hasn't even had time to be a reflection. And if you always live like that, you're always going to be discouraged and you're never going to be be able to be consistent with your new mindset enough for your new reality to come through. So this is also another great lesson, because this is really all rooted in having blind faith, right? At the end of the day, it's not needing to look at your environment constantly for proof that things are working, right? It's like, I truly feel like when you're so caught up on your outcomes all the time, it takes you away from the most important part, which is your input, which is doing your best work, which is focusing on your intentionality. Like, that's where all the good things really do come in life, when you're not focused on your outcomes all the time and your results, because that way you're always living on defense. Like, when you're focused on your inputs, on how you're showing up, on your intentions, on doing your best work, like, that's you living life on offense. And that's when you are in pure creation mode. And that's when your life can really reflect those decisions. So if another thing to take away, like, please stop looking to your environment for proof, because you're just going to keep getting proof of your past actions that you took that have accumulated to this reality. So you need to stop looking for proof in your environment. You need to have blind faith. You need to trust. You need to trust in the universe. You need to trust in yourself. You need to trust in your actions that your new reality will accumulate if you just focused on doing your best work. Another quote my dad actually was used to say is just to practice good medicine and the rest would come. Again, meaning when you're so focused on your inputs and the work that you're doing, if you're doing a good job, inevitably you're going to be reaping the seeds, the fruit of your labor. So you really need to give your reality, you need to give it time for your reality to actually shift, okay? You can't have these different mindset actions and then 3 days later be like, see, it's not working, nothing's changed, like, this isn't working, I'm still not good enough, and then go back to your old habits, because obviously you're just gonna keep living your old life. Okay, glad we're all up to speed. Next, really big mindset shift, which this is honestly a fun one. Like, I've been having so much fun with this one. I find the first one to be quite difficult. You have to, like, really keep affirming yourself, you know, no matter what. Like, you just keep having your blinders on and keep affirming your new mindset through affirmations, by the way, which is how I personally do it. Like, if I have a certain outcome that I'm like, wow, this is obviously not in favor of my new reality that I'm trying to create, like, that's when I will say an affirmation to myself that is affirming that I am going in the direction that I want to go. And that really helps me a lot. So anyways, the second mindset that I have is reframing every, I don't know how else to emphasize this. I'm talking about every single, okay? Reframing every single solitary situation to be self-serving. Talk about the era of delusion, right? Like that sound on TikTok. This is it. But I don't even like saying that because it's not delusional. You're not crazy. You are the creator of your reality. And that's exactly what this is. So I have so many examples for this. And I think this also perfectly piggybacks on the past point that I just said, that not having everything be victim to your environment and to your externals. Because again, if you take your like certain situations at face value and you think, if you think of it the way that everyone else does, you're going to be living a life that everyone else does. And if you want to be living a life that's not average, or you want to be living a life that's different from the rest, like, you need to be thinking different. If you don't want to be living an average life, you need to not be thinking like the average person. And so I think this is another kind of exercise for you to practice, not having your mindset be completely victim to your environment, or not taking everything at like blankets face value. And let me explain. First thing, I was in the shower the other day, and I only wash my hair like a couple times a week. So I feel like I have some more hair fallout than normal because I'm washing it less often. So it seems like a lot because it's like all at once. But so anyways, I was washing my hair and I had hair fallout. And for a second I was like, damn, like I'm having a lot of hair fallout. And I could have been like, the normal person would have been like, damn, my hair's falling out, I'm having hair loss, right? And for me, I was like, hold on a second, Liv, think about our new 2024 mindset goal. We're looking at everything self-serving. So no, it's not, oh my gosh, my hair is falling out, I have all this hair loss. No, it's, oh my gosh, my hair's falling out, this is great. Now my hair follicles are creating new space for new healthy hair to grow. Okay, next one, stuck in traffic. Oh my gosh, no, I'm going to be late. We say, oh my gosh, I'm stuck in traffic. This is awesome. Now I have more time to listen to a podcast. Oh my gosh, now I have more time to call my grandparents. I've been meaning to call them, right? This is where we're going with this. Next one. I don't have a lot of jobs in the pipeline. Great. Now I have an open schedule for my next client. I'm so excited to find out who it's going to be, right? And what jobs I'm going to do for them. Other one, the other day, I realized I had some pretty dead ends on my hair out of nowhere, right? I was like, damn, how did I get all these dead ends? I swear, like it came out of nowhere. But anyways, I could have been like, damn, my hair is like really not healthy. This sucks. Like, why do I have all these dead ends? No, I say, oh, dead ends. Sweet. This means it's time for a new haircut. So now my hair can grow even healthier. Do you get what I'm saying? Every single solitary thing is self-serving. Oh, I'm losing followers on social media. Awesome. Now my audience is becoming way more potent with the people who truly resonate with my word and my truth. Literally, when I say everything is self-serving, I'm saying everything is being reframed to be self-serving. And I know this will sound crazy to someone, but it's like you guys have to fully, I live, eat, breathe. Like I love mindset work because it truly is all that we're experiencing. Like it's all of our perception of reality. Like we think what we're seeing outside of ourselves is truth, and that's our reality, but really it's our perception of it that's making us think life is what it is. But everything is always constantly being filtered through your mindset. So truly, by the way that you look at things, your life, your reality is going to shift because of that lens that you're looking at life through. Our beliefs do not match reality. It does not match life, right? Life and reality matches our beliefs that we have. And also furthermore, it's kind of like that affirmations. It's the same power that's behind affirmations and affirming your reality. That's exactly what you're doing by reframing these situations in a self-serving way. And the contrary to like the skeptics that I know that I have that listen to me, it's like, so what? You know what I mean? Like, let's say you are stuck in traffic and you're going to be late. Like it's so far out of your control. Why would we not reframe it to be something productive and proactive to help support us and be self-serving instead of sitting there and being in a bad mood? It's like now instead of being pissed in traffic, we've not only been more productive to listen to a podcast or get in touch with a loved one, but also now our mood is heightened. We're staying happier, and that's going to help us take more actions that are in alignment with that emotion of happiness, and we're just going to have a higher quality of life. Like, so even if this isn't doing something directly of shifting our reality, it's improving our quality and enjoyment of life. And I think that's what matters most at the end of the day, right? Life is not promised. We're experiencing life for a temporary amount of time. Like you might as well freaking enjoy it while you're here. So at the very least, these self-serving mindsets should just be making you happier and get more enjoyment out of life. But I also know through my experience that affirming your reality and declaring your reality really does make a shift in what you are experiencing. And so I really stand behind this so much in reframing every situation and be self-serving, because you are declaring it. You are almost kind of casting a spell with your words, if you will, by stating and reframing each of these scenarios in a self-serving way, because you're shifting the energy in each of these situations and you're charging them with a different energy. Therefore, that's going to help create a different outcome. And this also kind of goes back to just simply trusting that everything is happening so divinely. Like we all know those people that just they take everything in life as like pessimistic. They think that everything is negative. They think that bad things are always happening to them. It's like, when you have that mindset, in my opinion, I believe those people are not trusting that there's a purpose towards everything that's happening in life. Like I do not believe stuff happens just simply to make people suffer. I just don't. I don't think that, of course, I'm not even going to open up the conversation. It's a whole different ballgame when we're speaking about on a worldly scale. But the majority of 90% of us listening of our quote unquote problems that we deal with on the day-to-day are something that are so small, that are not threatening our safety, that are not threatening our life, that's not threatening our survival. They're all small first world problems, and we think that they're just difficult things to simply make our life difficult. I just don't believe that. I think they're all opportunities for us to deepen, for us to grow, and they're there for a reason. Like I said, maybe you're stuck in traffic so you actually call your grandparents because they needed to talk to you that day, or so you actually don't end up getting in a car crash, 3 miles down the road because you had to be stopped. It's like there's so many different things and processes and events that are happening all at once that are so much bigger than our awareness. And it really comes down to trusting that things are working for us, that will help you also have more belief to back these self-serving mindsets that we're going to be reframing. And another quote that I saw a little bit ago now, but I thought it was really great and profound, and I really loved it because I felt like there was more of emphasis on kind of us holding the wand in our own life. It said something along the lines of that, like, things don't happen for a reason, but when things happen, we always find a reason for it, or like we can always assign the reason, which I thought was interesting because the saying, everything always happens for a reason. But I feel like at the end of the day, it's like you're always the one that kind of, traditionally, I feel like it's about like eventually you'll understand the reason why something happens, even if you don't know it in the moment of when it's happening. You will eventually find the reason. But it's like, did you find the reason that was written in the stars, or did you just declare a reason that you've kind of extracted internally once you were able to see that lesson? You know what I'm trying to say? So I really like that because I like that it was giving us the power back of that we are still always shaping and creating our reality. And I felt like it goes perfectly hand in hand with reframing every situation. Like, I'm stuck in traffic. Well, the reason for this is so that I can listen to a podcast or call a loved one, or, oh, my hair is falling out. The reason for this is because it's creating space for new healthy hair growth. Or, oh, I don't have a lot of jobs in the pipeline. The reason for this is so that, I can have an open schedule for the person that comes in next. It's like just something more of like, you having the wand is in your hand to create just kind of more beauty in your own life, essentially. So those are my two biggest mindsets that I have for you guys. Number one is to not have your mindset constantly be falling victim to your environment and your externals. If you're trying to create a different reality, you need to have blinders on to what you are currently experiencing, because that will the results of your current reality is just affirming what you've done in the past. It's affirming your past actions. So you need to have blinders on to give your new mindsets and therefore new courses of action. You need to put blinders on so they have time to compound into a new reality, because in 3 to 6 months, your current reality is going to be affirming the actions you took currently today, right? And then the next mindset that I have is to reframe every single solitary situation to be self-serving. If you notice yourself having a mindset, having a thought that makes you feel shitty, we're not having time for it in 2024. You need to have that awareness and reframe it. Think of, like, get creative, sister. Seriously, you need to think of anything you can think of how this current less favorable situation that you're not stoked about, how can you reframe that to be something that you can live with, right? That you don't have to be super excited about it, but something that you can live with, that you can be content with, and you can be like, okay, I'm understanding this now. I think it's going to go so far for our enjoyment, but also just keeping us in alignment on the path towards creating our dream life, because you can't be doing that. You can't be creating your dream life when you constantly feel like your life is shitty and terrible things are always happening to you. Like, it feels nearly impossible to have that blind faith and trust when you think that's the way life works. So huge one is to reframe every single solitary situation to be self-serving. So that's everything for this episode. Those are the two mindsets that I really wanted to bring home to you guys. And for what it's worth, like kind of what I touched on earlier, I have truly already been seeing little nudges of encouragement, of hope from the universe, from already incorporating and implementing these mindsets. And I know I said it takes time for your new reality to compound 100% into something big, but I promise you, even by incorporating these two different mindsets, even the next few days, like 1, 2, 3 days, you're going to experience little hints and nudges from the universe to give you encouragement to know that you're heading in the right direction and these things are working. They're just going to be smaller little bits, but I promise you eventually they're going to compound into something big, and one day you're going to say, oh my gosh, my life actually is completely different. So for the affirmation for this episode, I have: the life of my dreams begins in my mind. I really like this one because of how into mindset I am. It's so true. You have to see it first. You have to believe it first. You have to know it in your heart first for your reality to become different. The life of my dreams begins in my mind. If you think that one day you're going to wake up and have a different reality when you've done no inner work, when you've done no shifting inside, when you've had no mindset shifts, like, I'm sorry, it's just going to be so much more difficult, and it's going to be so much more of a long shot. Like, you need to believe in yourself. You need to trust yourself. You need to see your vision so clearly in your heart first before anything in the 3D is going to actually come into fruition. Like, you need to take care of your mindset first. of how you see your reality first, and then you will see and notice your reality shift to become into alignment with that mindset that you have on the inside. So I'm sending you guys so much love. I hope everyone's 2024 has been off to a pretty good start so far. If not, obviously don't stress. We're still so early in the year, and you have the power to shift your day to day at any time of the year. It doesn't even have to be right now. Whenever you feel ready, you always have that power. So if you guys enjoyed this podcast episode, I would love it if you guys could leave a rating and review. We're still so close to 500 reviews on Spotify. It takes 2 seconds just to click it and click however many stars that you would give this podcast. I also want to remind you guys, because we are getting closer to the trip, if you guys have any interest in my Bali retreat, if you guys really resonate with this podcast, I know you will really resonate with what the work that we're doing on our retreat. So we have our next retreat in Bali, May 2nd to May 9th. We have so many fun different things on the itinerary of actually being able to travel through Bali. So it's not just a retreat where we're not doing any other activities to actually see the country. We will be doing activities to see the country, but then there also will be retreat components of like a meditation workshop, journaling workshops, women's circles, a group workout. And I promise you, the connections that you will make in that retreat, the new girls that you will meet, the friends you will meet with people who are like-minded, will be something that is so beautiful and so comforting. And I know that alone is something that makes the trip so worth it, let alone being able to travel in a new country and all of that mindset work and inner work and healing that we do on the retreat as well. And I wanted to make you guys aware of the fact that there is a deadline to book the trip. That's kind of why I've been talking about this a lot more recently. I know it's probably annoying for those of you who don't care, but those who do care, I just want to make sure you guys are all up to speed so you guys are aware. It's not like you guys can book at the end of April to just like last minute come on the trip. You have until March 13th to book the trip. So you have less than 2 months to actually be able to book into this trip if you're wanting to come. So there are still limited spots available, but just know we are getting pretty close. We're about like less than 4 months out, I think. And again, you only have 2 more months to book your spot on the retreat if you're looking to come. The deadline to book is March 13th. So if you guys have any questions, again, always feel free to DM me on Instagram. So I recently got a question of a girl asking the age range of women that we have coming. So again, this is an all women's retreat. And right now we have ages from 19 up to 33 and all ages in between. We literally have 19, 20 years old, 21, 24, 25, 26, 27, 30, and then 33, I believe, or 31 and 33. So we have people of all different ages there. And I love it because we had that similar vibe for one of the first Costa Rica retreat. We had that same kind of age range. And I loved it because everyone has different insights and perspectives and life experiences to share. And it totally gives the vibes of big and little sister. And it just makes the retreat that much better because I feel like we have more diversity in the group, and that's when you're able to learn from one another. So that's everything. I think I've flabbered enough in this episode. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're on YouTube, and if you don't already know, I post all these on YouTube, by the way. It's just the Livfiit Listens podcast on YouTube. But again, thank you also for listening. I really appreciate you guys being here. I love you guys so much. And I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your week. And I will see you next Wednesday. Peace out.